Yo, what is up guys, the Mill's back with a brand new video, and we're back on some more Call of Duty World War II. In today's video, I want to talk about something that I saw on Twitter just about half an hour ago, actually. I'm gonna pop the tweet up across the screen, but in case you guys didn't see, Charlie Intel made a post where basically he was saying that Call of Duty Black Ops 4, from leaks, from rumors, are saying that Call of Duty Black Ops 4 is not going to have traditional boots on the ground movement like you see here in Call of Duty World War II. In fact, it might actually have a little bit of futuristic movement like you have in Overwatch. In today's video, I kind of want to give you guys my opinion and why this is a bad thing, why this might be a good thing, and why at the same time this might not actually be the end of the world. Now, first of all, I want to disclose which movement system do I want the next Call of Duty to have. What movement system do I want Call of Duty Black Ops 4 to have? Personally, I want it to be boots on the ground. From what we know, from what we've heard a while ago, Call of Duty Black Ops 4 is supposed to be set in the modern era. Apparently it's going to be 2020. But now a bunch of different rumors and leaks are coming out saying that the game is not going to be set in the modern era and it's going to have a movement system kind of similar to Overwatch. Now, I don't know what that necessarily means because I'm not an Overwatch player. I've never played Overwatch once in my life. But since they are saying it is not boots on the ground and it is more like Overwatch, I presume that that's more of a futuristic setting kind of movement system. Which, by the way, what is it with Call of Duty and copying game developers? I mean, I know that they've been doing it for like a decade now, but like seriously, we're copying Overwatch now. The game isn't even like insanely huge. I mean, don't get me wrong, Overwatch is popular and a lot of people love it, but it's not on the level of like Fortnite or CSGO when that was in its prime. Or maybe I'm just being ignorant, you guys can correct me that in the comments, but just personally, I don't feel like Overwatch is as big as those other games. So why would they be copying those other games? I mean, they are going to be copying a bunch of Battle Royale games. Apparently, there is going to be a Battle Royale mode in Call of Duty Black Ops 4, which I don't really know what to think of. I guess I'll make a video on that in the future. But overall, what do I think of this whole thing in general? Do I think that the futuristic movement is a bad thing? Kind of. I'm not happy that they're doing this. I personally presumed that after Modern Warfare Remastered and Call of Duty World War II came out, that this was going to be the end of Call of Duty in the future. I seriously believe that we were done with the whole futuristic stuff. I did not expect Treyarch to come around with their next Call of Duty game and have a futuristic setting. Now, there's nothing necessarily wrong with a futuristic setting. It's just the movement system is the problem. We don't want people boosting all over the place. You can make a game in the future. For example, Call of Duty Black Ops 2, which is statistically the most popular Call of Duty of all time. So clearly you can make a game in the future, but seriously, don't have a bunch of this boosting around stuff. This isn't Halo. This isn't Destiny. This isn't basically any other game that has a bunch of the whole boosting around. I really want them to stick to the traditional movement. And the fact that leaks are coming out saying that they're not going to be sticking to the traditional movement, that it is going to be a little bit changed and it's going to be similar to Overwatch, I'm not really too happy about that. I'm actually kind of disappointed. I mean, we've hated on futuristic movement ever since Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, and Call of Duty Black Ops 4 was not in development when Call of Duty Advanced Warfare was even finished its life cycle. The development for Call of Duty Black Ops 4 probably started halfway through the year of Call of Duty Black Ops 3's life cycle, and by then it was already very clear that we didn't like the futuristic movement. So there's no way that they didn't know that we didn't like this. So question is, why did they decide to stick with it? When it comes to the whole futuristic movement thing, I feel like they made a good bit of progress. They finally came out with Call of Duty World War II, which was boots on the ground, traditional movement, basically a Call of Duty that we wanted. And while this game didn't live up to the hype and it got boring pretty quickly, we were still pretty happy with the traditional movement. I will happily take this movement over any other movement in Call of Duty history. I feel like they took a step forward and then ended up just taking 2 steps back. It's like we made progress, we finally got a boots on the ground Call of Duty, and now they're going back to the whole futuristic stuff, which makes absolutely no sense to me. I personally think a modern era Call of Duty Black Ops 4, if it was set in the modern era, I feel like Treyarch would absolutely hit the ball out of the park. I feel like they would make an incredible Call of Duty that we could play for years to come. So my negative thoughts on the whole futuristic movement, I think it's a bad idea. I don't feel like Call of Duty deserves to be in the future. I think that that is just a really bad step in the wrong direction. But let's take for reference a futuristic Call of Duty that Treyarch have developed. Call of Duty Black Ops 3 was the only Call of Duty to date from Treyarch that has had futuristic movement. And if history repeats itself, even if Call of Duty Black Ops 4 doesn't have traditional movement, it's still going to be an amazing Call of Duty. This clearly shows that futuristic movement isn't the only factor that can kill a Call of Duty. You can have futuristic movement and still make a good Call of Duty. Look at Call of Duty Black Ops 3. It's a perfect example. That game was still amazing. People still play that game to this day. Black Ops 3 is personally my 3rd favorite Call of Duty, and the fact that I have a futuristic movement Call of Duty in my top 3 pretty much goes to tell you that it's not the end of the world, and it's not the only deciding factor of whether or not a Call of Duty is going to be bad. If the game is fun in general, like Black Ops 3 was, it had good colors, it was just a fun game to play, then it doesn't really matter what type of movement it has. Now, do I think that that's justification for Treyarch to make a bad decision like this? Hell no. I still feel like they should have stuck with traditional movement. I feel like this is a bad idea. But what I'm trying to get across to you guys is that maybe it's not the end of the world. Maybe we're not going to be happy with the fact that it's not traditional movement, but it's still not going to be a complete failure of a Call of Duty, because if you look at Treyarch's track record, every single Call of Duty that they've ever made has been a really good one. So basically what I'm trying to get across to you guys is that this shouldn't skew your opinion on whether or not you should get Call of Duty Black Ops 4. If you're a fan of Treyarch games in the past, definitely pick up Black Ops 4. I personally feel like it's going to be one of the greatest Call of Duty games that Treyarch has ever released, considering the fact that they're going to be releasing the game a full month early, which basically signifies that they are ready, that they want to release this game as quick as possible because they know that their game is going to be good. Either that, or they know that Red Dead Redemption 2 is coming out and that game is going to completely smoke the Call of Duty franchise. It's most likely the latter. But either way, I feel confident in Treyarch. I'm not going to lose hope. I'm still very excited for Call of Duty Black Ops 4. Yes, I'm a little bit disappointed that they're basically backtracking and going back to something that we didn't like. It's like, if a formula is working like boots on the ground for Call of Duty, I don't understand why they don't just stick to that formula. If you have something that works, just keep doing it over and over again until people burn it out. I don't think anybody is complaining about the movement system in Call of Duty. When people say that Call of Duty is the same thing each and every single year, they're not referring to the fact that this game has traditional movement. I don't think anybody cares. I think people would like that. It's like they're trying to take our feedback into consideration, but at the same time, they kind of just want to do what they want to do. They don't really care about what we have to say. But hey, Treyarch are the best when it comes to listening to the community, and they know exactly what we want. While this game is probably not going to be what we expected, I have no doubt that Treyarch are still going to deliver this year and are going to make one of the greatest Call of Duties that we've ever had. So guys, keep your hopes up and don't let this information discourage you. Just keep asking yourself this question in your head: when have Treyarch ever let us down? That's not to say that Treyarch can't fuck up. I've said this before in videos. They definitely can mess this up and they can make a bad game, but most likely they won't. If they somehow manage to mess up this title and Call of Duty Black Ops 4 doesn't live up to the expectation and it just really isn't a good Call of Duty, I don't really see Call of Duty surviving that much longer. I honestly feel like this is the last year to bring Call of Duty back, because Infinite Warfare was a failure, World War II is a failure, even though I personally like the game, and Treyarch, they need to do something. They need to save this community, because if not, it's just going to be overtaken by Fortnite and a bunch of different titles. Treyarch, this is your last chance. Please don't let us down. But anyway, I've talked enough. I'm gonna end the video off here. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much the end of the video. I'll have my last one in the corner. If you haven't checked that out already, definitely make sure to check it out. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks very much for watching. Peace out.